we would have been I would have at least been heartbroken if it had not been appreciated.
It needs to be a good piece of literature, which this was. It was an excellent piece of literature.
Something is unsatisfying about the watch. Whenever you watch anything where somebody seems only one way.
What Nikhil sir said is that he's like, don't just look for Vikram Sarabhai, look for Vikram.
So, hi Jim, hi Ishwak, welcome to the Quint. Congratulations on the second season of Rocket Boys. And what an incredible first season. Did you anticipate the massive appreciation that the first season received?
I don't think you can ever anticipate how successful a show can be, but you get that feeling inside that you're working on something special. And while we were working on it, the show was made with so much love and care and real determined effort that I would have at least been heartbroken if it had not been appreciated.
My interest in literature, reading stories and performing plays and of course following movies is a certain kind of writing that you subscribe to and you appreciate and you want to be a part of such stories. What all goes into it, there's a long list. So I mean, it's just that quality of writing. To begin with, it needs to be a good piece of literature, which this was. It was an excellent piece of literature. And I was amazed that, with the kind of layering that was there, the depth that the script had. Just the basic idea of the kind of show that the makers wanted to make. A homage to the fathers of modern Indian science. I thought it was a great service to not just the scientific community, but India, our country at large, because of what these men achieved for all of us, for the future generations.
So, what do you think is different in this season?
Well, they're older. You're seeing relationships that have matured. And I think we gave it enough thought, I hope, let's see, how similar conversations morph and change when you're having it maybe the 150th time. And then in the middle of all of that, what still manages to sting you every now and then, or what still sparks your awe and wonder and surprise, I think we paid some attention to these things, and I hope that it translates to screen.
So what were your initial perceptions of Homi Bhabha and Vikram Sarabhai, and how did that evolve and change during the course of shooting these two seasons?
I mean, I think it's not the wisest thing to have an initial perception. Of course, if you know the person, for me at least, I'd heard stuff, but it's always nice for me. The excitement is that if I go down the rabbit hole for the first time, as if I really don't know, have any clue about the character and see it afresh. It just along the way, as you go along shooting it, you figure out who this person is. You just kind of get a sense of, become the voice of the character.
I'll say one thing that I really, really admire about Dr. Bhabha. It's the intensity of his curiosity. And it isn't just curiosity. It's curiosity along with the rigor of investigation.
So when you're playing, non-fictional characters, there's always this pressure of staying authentic to their personalities.
I totally agree with you that there is the possibility of that pressure coming in. But the honest truth is, nobody knows his personality. Nobody really knows. We judge him based on what he says and what he does. And for that, we completely relied on a very well-researched and wonderful script. So then it just became about making those moments true, surprising, interesting, with as much color as we could add to the bare bones of the man that we had already on the page.
Yeah, it was wonderful. And I know that's something that, has been the way we've gone about this throughout, because beautiful thing that the first time I met Nikhil Advani and Abhay Pannu, what Nikhil sir said is that he's like, don't just look for Vikram Sarabhai, look for Vikram. So as that encapsulates the whole process approach, if authentic, but I understand what you're saying is that the thing is that at best what you can do is you can kind of be aware of the air of that time. What was the air like? What was, this country like? What was, it's a sense, which is a part of, that ecosystem that these men were, the cultural backdrop, the political backdrop. We were a new nation. So we kind of draw from all those things.
And what's really amazing about Rocket Boys is that sometimes biopics are very difficult to comprehend, right? Especially one which is like based on science, like there are difficult jargons. But what's amazing about this show is that it goes beyond and narrates like, story of two very important figures and looks at how it humanizes them, right?
I think everyone has flaws. Everyone is like that. And I think when we try to avoid those flaws or only show a character which doesn't have any, something is unsatisfying about the watch. Whenever you watch anything where somebody seems only one way,
Too sanitized.
it just doesn't.
Yeah.
You want to connect and you want to get into it, but it's hard to get into it because your day-to-day experience of human beings is not that. Is that even the nicest person every now and then will snap. Something or the other will happen. If you spend enough time with a person, we all know that. I mean, first people we learn to love and hate is our family. So I think that we try to just show them as humans, men.
Yeah, that's
who
the word,
do things.
I wouldn't even call them flawed, like you said, human. They were human. And that's what it is. That's what I loved about the script, the first time I read it, because it was just a very human story. And by human story, I don't mean it was humane. It wasn't just nice and sanitized and clean, and it wasn't just about good virtues. It's the complete circle of life. It's all of it, all the seasons.
It's how you deal with the mess that is inside all of us that elevates you to what other people would call greatness. It's not that the mess doesn't exist. It's how you react to it and how you express it or how you overcome it or how you learn to manage it. And I think they were very good at managing their mess.
You mentioned that while you were reading the script, what was that reaction like when you first read the script? Were you surprised or were you expecting something along these lines?
I wouldn't say I was surprised. I was excited. I was excited to read a script that was just very, very well written, had very interesting dynamics, set up relationships really quickly, had clear wants and conflicts and desires, and was gripping all the way through.
Yeah, it was very felt. I was so excited to go out there, and I mean, beyond a point, because we were in the lockdown, middle of the lockdown, and we were still awaiting our shoot dates. I was excited because I wanted to go and perform these scenes. They were so felt, so exciting. Every scene was fresh, different from the other. Each relation, with the other character was so interesting, and the graphs were so interesting. I just couldn't wait to get to the set and get to it, get down, do this.
Chalo, thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.